Yes. Oh, because there's the camera. Hi, this is Father Bruce Wilson with Coastal Bend Neighborhood Empowerment, and with my friend Mike here, and we were just talking about some of our friends who are unhoused, who are under the bridge, experiencing homelessness, and the way people in the community look at them, the way society thinks about them, and there's some truth to that. It's not that it's untrue, it's just that it's so much deeper than people understand. So I got my friend Mike here. Hey, Mike.
Hello, how y'all doing?
So could we talk about that just for a minute?
Yeah. Sure.
Okay, let's talk about that. So we were just talking about your own life experience. We were talking about the experience of people you know. And I think I started off by saying, so why do they just stay under the bridge? And you said?
Responsibility.
They don't want to take responsibility.
That's right, because I've been out here on the streets a while. And, you know, I wasn't having income like everybody, getting checks and stuff like that. But anyway, if I get some kind of income every month, and I've been out here 10, 12 years, I'm tired. I want to have me a roof where I can shower, I can eat, have me a refrigerator, AC, and have my little dog with me.
Chief.
Oh, Mr. Chief. He's the boss man, everybody. He's the boss man.
He's
but
great.
Living out here on these streets, it's not easy.
Yeah.
You get that income.
It's kind of exciting in the beginning. Oh man, I'm unmortgaged. I'm free. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to pay no bills. I ain't got to worry about that. But 10 years later,
okay, then it dawns on you, and you think about, man, I should have did this a long time. Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Yeah.
So there's no use even crying about what you shoulda and coulda, woulda did. It's the thing you need to do now.
Okay, so you're going to take responsibility now, and you've already taken some responsibility. But the people that we're talking about that are still out there on the streets, why do they stay on the streets? Because they're irresponsible. They're afraid of responsibility. Oh, let's just say they're not responsible. They don't want to take responsibility.
They don't want to take responsibility.
But then we started to look deeper than that. That's on the surface. That's just a symptom. There's a lot of symptoms, like, oh, they're lazy. Oh, they're not responsible. Oh, they're just addicts. They're all the things that people say about someone who's under the bridge, someone who's experiencing homelessness, because they don't know what's under that. They don't have a clue. They don't have a clue why people are avoiding responsibility, why they're coping with drugs or alcohol or substances, why they act like they're lazy. Why? How did that happen? So we're talking about what's underneath that.
Okay, first of all, we talking about their addiction. I have addiction. I'm not gonna lie, I have addiction. But sometimes, most of the time, you gotta put that addiction to the side. Okay, you got responsibility for that, huh? You can go out there and work 12 hours out there in that heat and take $60. And you have a little phone bill, $19.99. You can't pay that $19.99, but you can go buy that. No. That addiction, hey, it's not the way out.
So addiction may start off as self-medication. It may even start off recreational, but
you use the addiction for an excuse.
All right.
Trying to get over that situation, but soon, once you sleep that addiction or whatever, you wake back up, oh man, I'm back at square one.
Right. So my little thing about the man takes a drink, then the drink takes a drink, then the drink takes the man. It might start off with just recreation, or it might start off with coping. What is it people are coping with? Because if we can talk about what people are coping with, what they're dealing with, you can explain everything else. You can explain why they act like they're lazy, why they don't take responsibility, why they're doing the drugs. Let's talk about coping. What are people coping with? Why is it that you see those symptoms in people who are on the streets, that are homeless, that are unhoused, let's say? Why do we see those symptoms? What is underneath that? What causes that? Let's talk about coping with what?
First of all, they hate to hear the word no. But soon somebody say yes, okay, that's all they want.
Yeah.
And then half of us, we don't know how to deal with that.
And why? Why don't people know how to deal with that? Why do people not know how to take responsibility? Why are people avoiding responsibility? Why are people not able to take no for an answer or yes for an answer? What is going on? Where is that coming from? Let's talk about some things that happened to people that you know, yourself maybe, but what happened in their life that disempowered them. Let's talk about what happened at the root level. Let's get into root causes. Let's talk about what happens when people are made to feel unsafe, when people are made to feel like something has happened, or it's happening now, or it's happening chronically, that puts them in survival mode, because this is life or death. This is threatening at a survival level. And so I am not safe. And then and then couple that with, there's not a damn thing I can do about it. I am powerless. I can't stop this from happening. This could kill me, either literally or socially or in some way. This is life-threatening, and there's not a damn thing I can do about it. I am powerless. I'm unsafe and I'm powerless. And what happens that makes people feel unsafe or powerless? And then how does that manifest in all the other things that we've been talking about? They're all symptoms of what we would call trauma. So talk about that.
When you're not feeling safe, it's something done happen to you in life, younger age, little kid, whatever you want to call it. And something don't happen to me in my younger days. It still affects me. I think about it at times. And once I was like, we shouldn't do this. No, it's wrong. But what happened?
What happens?
The consequences, it paid for when I said no. This is wrong, don't do this. I'm gonna tell you gonna tell who? If you never been home, you gotta really observe a person. You got to, see where they're coming from.
Okay, so what happens in people's homes growing up that causes them to feel powerless and to feel threatened?
You might get left at home with your auntie, your uncle. I don't seen that happen before. Everybody gone. Now here come that sexual abuse little types, But
sexual abuse?
Sexual abuse, child molestation.
Describe somebody's home. Describe something that, in some detail, that happens that traumatizes people as children. Developmental trauma, we call it, that makes them feel unsafe and powerless. What's an example of something in detail?
I have a friend. He's still my friend. Right now, if I was in Georgia, we'll be hanging out right now. But he was left with his auntie, his mom, his dad, all them left, even his little brother and sister. And his auntie, she took advantage of him. He was number 8 years old. She did, the normal thing what that would go on, and right now he's the same age I am, and 8 years old, and I'm 51. Add those years up and never told no one until he was about 35. And he used to tell me, Mike, man, I still don't feel right. You know what I mean? And we used to talk all the time. Give each other good advice. Talk all the time. I said, bro, I know what went on with whatever. You need to overcome that. I said, get down on your knees. Pray. Pray about it. Talk about it.
So you were trying to help him to resolve his trauma. If trauma can be resolved, you can move past it. If it is not resolved, you are stuck.
Yeah, you're gonna be right out here with that same addiction problem that you drink, alcohol, drugs. It don't matter.
You got to deal with it. Describe a scenario of domestic violence. You were just telling me about one a while ago? Tell me about it.
I was about 7, 8 years old.
I didn't mean you had to tell about yourself, but if you want to.
No,
okay.
it's okay.
Okay, that's good.
I always used to get my little sister when my mom boyfriend jump on her. I put my little sister behind our door in me and my brother bedroom.
What do you mean jump on them?
My mama boyfriend used to whoop her. I mean, I had a stick about 5 foot, never electrical tape wrapped around it. He used that to beat my mama. And my mama was on the ground. Only thing I could hear was she was just hollering. So I went in the house, I grabbed my little sister, put her in my bedroom behind my door, ran down the street, 8 years old, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. Just running down the hill to my uncle, my grandmother's brother, rest in peace. And he would always used to come with his shotgun. Once he get there, he's gone. She used to have her brother them come out there. But my thing is, why you always run back to him, mama? Love is like that.
Yeah.
But she woke up out of that. And you know what? That would dwell in your mind. I don't care how old you are. You can be 80, 90 years old. It would still stay in your mind what you done seen, what you done experienced, what you done observed.
So, yeah, I didn't mean you had to tell everybody that was your life.
Okay.
But thank you
I
for doing that.
I feel like talking about things like that because as long as you hold it in, the more stress you're going to get, depressed. Somebody say a little thing, you're going to want to tear their heads off the shoulder, and it's not worth it.
So it does help to talk about it, but it helps to be in a safe place and to be empowered again. Because
right.
What happens, like what you told about your friend in Georgia, what happened to you, what happens that if it's not resolved, doesn't go away, what happens is, number one, you're made to feel threatened at a survival level. Like, this is going to kill me, either literally physically kill me, or it's going to socially kill me, it's going to destroy my family. Like, if this frickin' guy who's just beating the shit out of my mom, if he kills her, then what happens to me? Or if he, after he kills her, then where's he coming next?
He coming to us, because really he gonna get me, because I'm old enough to see what's going on and see what's happening to my mother.
Yes.
My sister's still in the house. She don't know what's going on.
So these are survival level events that happen in the life of a child. We call those, and technically, adverse childhood experiences, ACEs. There's 1,000 different kinds of adverse childhood experiences, 1,000 kinds of ACEs. Some people experience 1 in their childhood. Some people experience 2. Some people experience 3. Some people experience up to 6 adverse childhood experiences in a community that has adverse conditions in their environment. So you put all those things together. Number one, someone's made to feel unsafe, like this lion is fixing to eat me up. And number two, there's not a damn thing I can do about it. I can't stop this. I can't stop that guy from beating the shit out of my mom. I can't stop him from coming after me.
And don't get me wrong, with plenty of times I just wanted to run. And the only thing I could do was just probably grab his leg or grab his shirt, pull him from my mom. But my mom, my little sisters, them two were my concern. My brother, I don't know where he was, but them experiences from my mom's relationship with one of her boyfriends, things like that. I'm gonna say it once again, it would stay in your mind. It would stay like it's on your conscience, like you did.
Because you couldn't stop it.
You couldn't stop.
You should have stopped it. Why didn't you stop it?
Scared.
Yeah.
Scared for my little sister. Scared for my mama. I don't know if he gonna kill her.
Why didn't you protect your mom? Why didn't you help her?
You guys need any
Scared.
water?
No, we're good. We're good.
Sir?
No, sir, I'm good, sir. Thank you. But scared. I was about, like I said, 7, 8 years old, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, running down the street to my uncle.
So you carry that with you. Talking about it can help, but psychotherapy, talking it through, can also just re-traumatize you. It
would try to, but you know what? I'm old enough. I know what went on. I seen that, observed that, whatever. My heart goes out to my mama. She stopped that one day. He wanted to jump on her. She had them put some grits in a pot. I mean, cooked them grits. I mean, cooked them. He comes in there and want to hit her. She said, "You hit me, this gonna be the last day you see me, or you ever gonna swing on another woman." He seen that pot of grits, and that was it.
She would have hit him with that pot of grits?
She was gonna pour the grits on, and them grits stick to you. When they stick to you.
So she stood up for herself.
That's
so
right.
Talking about it can be helpful, but it doesn't go away until two things happen. If you're made to feel unsafe, you have to feel safe again. You've got to be in a safe place. Your body has to be in a safe place. Exactly. You've got to be in an apartment. You've got to be in a house. If you're on the street, you're still unsafe. You're not safe. Yeah. And you don't, it doesn't help to say, well, if you do all these things first, if you earn it, if you deserve it, then we'll give you an apartment. That's backwards. You got to make people feel safe before you can.
In their environment.
That's right. In their environment, that they can't be scared that somebody's going to steal my property. They're going to stab me. They're going to pour grits on me.
That's right. You know, and so.
Because when trauma is triggered by a sound, a feeling, a sight, a color, whatever, when trauma is triggered, a social situation, it's like that guy is coming after me with that bat. He's hitting my mom all over again, and there's not a dang thing I can do about it. So feeling safe, and then starting to feel empowered. Like, okay, there is something I can do to make my life better. There's something I can do about terrible, dangerous situations. I am able, I have strength, I do have the power to do that. So helping people to feel safe and then to feel empowered is really the only permanent solution to what happened in early childhood, adverse childhood experiences that cripples people with a trauma that is not resolved, can't be resolved until they feel safe again or until they feel empowered again.
And quit using your addiction for an excuse.
Yeah, well, you know what? So let's talk about that, because I would say, yes, quit using your addiction as an excuse. But as I say, the man takes a drink, the drink takes a drink, the drink takes a man. At that point, you don't have control over that. You have to say, I admit that I was powerless and my life has become unmanageable, right? So in the beginning, the addiction may start off as just self-medicating, as coping the best way that you can with what you experienced that you have not resolved yet. I'm just going to cover it up. I'm going to cope with it. That's what I'm going to use drugs for in the beginning, and then it becomes an excuse. Then it becomes a crutch, and then it has power over you. Then the drink takes a drink,
and then when it takes over, you don't forget all about that situation. But when that whatever your addiction was or whatever you did, when that wears off, where you back at? Back at one. That situation back on your mind.
So it is important to begin to handle the addiction, but usually so check me out here. I think recovery from addiction for many people who are experiencing homelessness, recovering from addiction has to also be coupled with recovery from trauma.
That's right.
And recovery from the street culture, where it's the best family you got, but they're going to steal from you at night. It's not safe, but it's the best you got. That's the street culture. Every man for himself. We're gonna talk good about you when we're with you, and we're going to steal your backpack at night. That's the way it is on the street. So you're recovering from the rules, the way of life on the street. So you're recovering from drugs, you're recovering from trauma, and you're recovering from street culture. And you got to do all of those at the same time. You can't just recover from the addictions. You have to recover from the trauma. If you don't recover from the trauma, you can't recover from the addiction.
You can't, because if you don't get over that addiction, everything you're going through out here on these streets or what you went through in childhood, it's going to bounce back.
It does bring it back.
It brings it back.
Yes.
And then that's when a little anger come in. Why you looking at me? And I didn't say nothing to you. Next thing you know, bam, 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 bam.
So if you don't recover from the addiction, then your life is going to continue to cycle where it is.
It's like a revolving door.
Yes. But now check this out. Is this right? If you can't if you can't recover from the trauma, then you're going to keep going in the same spiral, which includes the addiction.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
at the root of the root is the trauma. The addiction becomes a root cause, a secondary root cause for what we say is being lazy, is being irresponsible, is being afraid of success, afraid of failure, loss of hope. Even those, but those are surface. The root of the root is the unresolved trauma that you experienced, which leads to addiction that you're not recovering from, which leads to all these other symptoms. But go to the root of the root, and it's going to be something like your dad, your mom's boyfriend beating the shit out of her, and there wasn't a dang thing you could do about it. It's gonna go back to being sexually molested by your tia or your T.O.
And it ain't got to always be by women. It can be your uncle.
Yeah. And you can't resolve it because you're 8 years old.
Yeah, you can't.
So what are you gonna say? How are you gonna deal with that? You're not equipped. You're not prepared to handle that when you're 8 years old. So when do you ever get to resolve that? And it's not just by talking about it, because you were not safe. You were violated. You were not safe, and there wasn't a damn thing you could do about it. You got to feel safe again, and you got to feel empowered.
That's right. That's right. So, it was a battle. It was a battle. And when I seen my mom put her foot down, I was in the kitchen when that happened. Hey, I hugged my mom. I couldn't do that. My grandma down here on her little thighs and legs, but I hugged.
Okay, so you were blessed because that was the beginning of the resolution of your trauma. It happened when your mom stood up to her boyfriend. That was the beginning of recovery for you.
And you know what? I felt so good. That was a relief. I called my grandmama, told her he ain't come back no more. They just got to fighting, and mama had some grit. My grandma started laughing. Let me speak to her. And you know what? Like I said, I still have remembrance of it. But my mom is in a better place. She ain't got to go through that no more. She done retired. And I feel better in certain ways, but my mom went through that.
Yeah.
Just the way I see Jesus Christ, way they did him up there, he didn't deserve that. Trust me, he didn't deserve that.
Your mom didn't deserve that.
She didn't deserve that.
Right.
Trying to take care of 3 kids, 2 boys and a girl. My oldest brother wasn't there all the time.
So you were blessed. You were blessed because your trauma recovery began when you were still, 8 years old, 9 years old?
8 years old, 8 years old.
And your mom put her foot down, and now, from that moment, in that moment, you started to feel safe again.
I slept in my bed, in my bedroom. I didn't care. My brother did not come back home that night.
So you slept.
I slept, and I know that man wasn't coming back in this house.
Now that's the beginning of recovery. Not every 8-year-old is blessed that way. They may be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years old before they can feel safe again in their own body, in their own social environment.
So if you recognize what's really going on, you won't recognize unless you've been through it. Being out here homeless, it's not fun. You don't have nowhere to go get your nice shower. Well, you ain't got to be in no rush. You go in your refrigerator, get you some food, and ain't nothing like that.
Yeah. And so the answer isn't, well, why don't you just make a better choice? Why don't you just do something right? Why don't you make a better decision? Why don't you just do this? Why don't you do that? So you're not so lazy. Why do you have to be so lazy? Why do you have to be so afraid of responsibility? Just shake it off. Just get over it. That's not helpful. You have to deal with what's underneath that. What's underneath that? You got to deal with the core, with the root causes if you want it to get better.
You will have to sit down, really sit down with this person or whoever it may be. Sit down with them. Listen to them. Let them tell you. Because you never been through that before. And that, like I said, it's not easy out here on the street. You don't have no money, no kind of income. Where you gonna get something to eat at? You got very seldom shelters around here that provide food and stuff. But other than that, you want snacks at night. Where you gonna get that at?
Yeah.
So it's time to just, as they say, stand up, man up, woman up. We can do this.
Well, if you agree to walk with them, and the only thing that I've ever agreed to do with my homeless friends here is to walk with them. I can help them negotiate the resources in the community. I don't have resources. I don't bring a magic wand or answers, but I can walk with them. And really, when you start what you just said and what I'm saying, when we are willing to listen to people, to walk with people, to help them to feel like they have a safe relationship again, and to help empower them, then...
But see, about that, some of them be afraid to tell you exactly what's going on. Or that person going to tell my business. I'm not... Put it out there.
Yeah, you got to walk a few miles with somebody before they're going to talk about it.
Right.
So you can't. If you want to help, you don't just walk up to a crowd of homeless people and say, "I'm here to listen."
No. You go. I mean, us homeless people out here. I have an apartment, but I'm still home because I still got to pay rent to stay there.
And you're struggling with your rent.
I'm struggling with my rent, but some things that man upstairs put you through to see how you're gonna deal with it. And you're gonna struggle. It's not easy. You're gonna struggle. But it just, some things you have to man up, woman up. You gotta put that to the side and keep that head up and ask that man, come on, Lord, I need you. Please.
And people can man up, they can woman up. If you're willing, if someone is willing to walk with them, if someone is willing to listen, if someone's willing to care, if someone's willing to just give them a safe relationship, and to encourage them to claim the power that they already have, to realize the power that they already have, just to make someone actually feel safe and empowered, is it's what we have to offer each other. That's all we have.
And I'm gonna really tell you the truth. What it really is about. It's the trust. Can I talk to this person about this? This person gonna listen. See, a homeless person, we don't been, through that no and, just let down. But anyway, it's the trust. Can I sit down and really tell this person about what I really went through? Yeah,
trust, because trust is the trust issue is a safety issue. Am I safe telling you about this? I don't. It's easier just to say I'm fine. I like it this way. I don't want to have a mortgage. I'm okay. Leave me alone. It's easier to say I'm fine. Leave me alone than it is to be vulnerable. And I'm not going to be vulnerable with you if you're not safe. And I don't know if you're safe or not until you walk with me for a while.
That's right. And you mostly people out here homeless still. Like I said, I'm still homeless too. You come out here and want to talk to them and everything. First thing they gonna want to know: am I talking to a Lord? Can I trust this person with everything I got to say, or is my business gonna get elsewhere? Or now I'm up all night because I can't sleep. I don't know if this a law coming back to pick me up on the info that I talked to that person about.
Yeah. And
that's where it comes from. It's the trust.
Right.
It's the trust from us homeless people. It's the trust.
And part of that is personal, and part of it is social, society. I mean, we criminalize our homeless community. We don't say, okay, here's where you can go, because we don't have enough places to go. We tell people, you can't go here. And so we want to control this through criminalizing it, through punishment, through retributive justice. We're responding to citizen complaints. We're not solving the problem. We're just sweeping it under the carpet, so to speak. And you still have people who feel powerless and helpless that are still going to be homeless because you're not really addressing the problem.
That's right, and you're sleeping out here on these streets. You're not safe.
Right.
Late at night, people walking past you. You got your stuff laid out. They going in your backpack. Your phone gone. It's not safe.
Yeah.
It's not safe.
So we got to wrap this up. We got a lot longer than I
It was
intended.
good talking to y'all. God loves y'all. I love y'all. I'm going to stay up the best I can. And you all stay blessed. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Mike.
Amen. Thank you, sir.